Well, hello there, and thank you for joining me for another broadcast of God's podcast. I am your host. God is gracious. Thanks for joining. My subject today is iron sharpens iron, which comes from Proverbs 27:17 is iron sharpens iron, iron as iron sharpens iron. So one person sharpens another. Again, this comes from Proverbs 27:17. In the world's economy, men dominate other men. Sorry about that. Apologies. In the world's economy, men dominate other men and women. There are leaders and there are followers, there are gurus and spiritual directors who are oppressive. But in God's economy, the kingdom of God, there are equals. And even where one is in a position of authority, it is an authority of servanthood. Jesus was clear that, I might be stirring my words here now, but Jesus was clear that in his church, leaders would not rule like the Gentiles, but would serve humbly like Christ as he washed the feet of his disciples and died for the sins of the whole world. So in light of this, all of our relationships are to be Christ-centered. We are to commend one another in the truth, in love, and grow together in likeness of Christ. Paul himself said that he discarded any cunning or underhanded ways of ministering and instead sought to set forth the truth plainly and commend himself to everyone's conscience in the sight of God. The only good relationship are those where both parties are sharpened by the truth-telling and example of the other. This is part of the great blessing of Christian brotherhood and ought not to be neglected. So again, this is a very short verse, so it's a very short post, but it is still a very good post. So we're going to take a quick look at the two key parts of Proverbs 27:17. Number one is iron sharpens iron. So again, iron that is rubbed against another piece of iron will become sharper, even as it sharpens the other piece. The best of Christ-centered relationships will be like two pieces of iron. The quality relationship will be based on growth and Christ likeness. And then secondly, number two, so one person sharpens another. In the same way, both people in the relationship are sharpened by the other person. Each person should see this as the main goal of the relationship. True Christian friends will not allow each other to tell falsehoods. True Christian friends will love one another enough to say what needs to be said, ask tough questions, and expect the same from each other. True Christian friends will encourage one another all the more as the day approaches. So again, this has been a very brief post because it is a very short verse, but a lot was said in that very short time. Again, it is important who, as a Christian, you spend your time with. You want to spend time with someone that is going to build you up, make you stronger by loving you enough to be honest with you, and likewise yourself. So again, iron sharpens iron. So the saying, one person's either sharpens another person or make that person more dull. That's the facts, one way or the other. So again, thank you so much for joining me for this brief broadcast of God's podcast. I'm your host. God is gracious. Until next time, you, your family members, and friends be blessed and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye now.